Some familiar faces. Thanks, Noah. I have one. This is my wedding shirt. About half a minute, we'll get started. Hi, babe. My wife thought that I should mention the fact that I'm married in these things, which I feel is pretty obvious, but that it's important for people of influence to have strong wives. We had this slight argument because she started the washing machine right as I was going to start this video, and she thought that she should get recognition. She's works 2 jobs full-time on the front lines in the medical industry, and still has time to do laundry. So thanks, babe. I appreciate that. All right, 11 p.m. As for our first drink, there's a little purpose behind it, which is novelty, but I will be talking about 2 of my policies, one of which probably less popular, but I think equally important. The other, which is definitely the more popular one. But in the honor of the ending of prohibition, even though my normal go-to is whiskey to start this one off, I'm gonna have a shot of moonshine with you guys. So I hope you had a good work week. I definitely hope it's leading up to a good weekend for you. And salute. That is crisp. All right. First topic of discussion. My second act as the governor of Texas will be implementing a state-funded program that helps legally entering immigrants get their United States citizenship easier and faster, removing expensive costs for the individuals and tax breaks for the businesses that sponsor them. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think that needs a whole lot of elaboration, but that's it. One of the bigger issues with illegal immigration and border control, and well, that seems to be from the immigrant side of things. The complaint is that it's very difficult to get citizenship. I have several friends that have legally acquired their citizenship, and it took them, upwards of 8 years, and that's it's quite a bit to be on a visa. And I understand that you need to earn it, but there's a lot of people that have citizenship that didn't do anything to earn it. So, I mean, maybe if we can expedite the process a little bit, that would give more people wanting to come to America a little bit more incentive. So, within the state of Texas, those legally entering residents looking to acquire their citizenship, we will have programs to help them do it faster. My third act as the governor of Texas, this will be the more popular one. I will personally pardon all citizens convicted of any marijuana charges that are not connected to violent crimes. If you did something that resulted in the injury or murder of another innocent human being, or just another human being in general, based around the production, acquisition, sale of marijuana, that's different. I don't see a reason to reduce your sentence if you are a violent human being. However, as far as marijuana charges are concerned, those will be pardoned. So if you are an individual currently incarcerated or previously incarcerated on a charge involving marijuana that is not connected to a violent crime, pardoned. That will take a lot of penmanship on my part, but that will get done. That's fair. Furthermore, I will abolish all state laws concerning marijuana. The growth, production, distribution, purchase, and consumption of marijuana and its byproducts will be the rights and freedoms of Texans and anyone visiting our great state. There's no reason to hold people back from that. an individual has the right to make his own choice. I don't know of any cases of marijuana harming other people. I'm sure that there's small, random, few cases, but much fewer, within probably under 1% of alcohol or any type of prescription drugs. So marijuana is just a control tactic. That's overreach. That's government overreach. There's no reason for them to control or restrict marijuana, and definitely not criminalize it. It also seems to help a lot of people. So that's where I stand on that. Even as a conservative who does not use marijuana, I use CBD oil. I love CBD oil. It actually helps me a lot with anxiety issues and sleep. But as far as marijuana itself, I just personally don't choose to use it because I don't like the idea of it. I have in the past a handful of times. It does not have the good effect on me it has on others. So I don't personally like it, but I see it do a lot of good for a lot of others. So that's where I stand on the legalization of marijuana. So questions away. The whole point of this is for you guys to ask questions so that you can get my full opinion on it. So if you don't ask questions, I basically said what I have to say. And we'll recap that in about 30 minutes. Sorry, here's a formal apology. I apologize for this video being late, as it was previously scheduled for the first Friday of every month. I was put in Facebook jail for a total of 37 days, 7 and then a probation period, and then 30. Because apparently in 2020, in this political climate, a father defending, written defending against a grown man, referencing his 11-year-old daughter's genital parts on the internet, is frowned upon and considered bullying. So that was what got me in the clink at first, and then I apparently violated my probation by comparing COVID and individual states' lockdown policies to that of Nazi Germany. So you can't really speak the truth in 2020 unless it fits a liberal narrative, but that's what I did. So let's hear it. Thank you, Shauna. It's been a very long time. Sadie Weigel wrote, I wish it was legalized when my mother-in-law had multiple sclerosis. It would have helped a lot. Segue into the question, what about driving while consuming marijuana? I don't know of any negative effects it has towards driving. I don't want to do anything. It freaks me out. But from what I know of everybody that I've come across that uses it, it just makes them focus better and slow down. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Thank you, Lindy. I try to look professional in these things. I was this close to wearing a regular t-shirt because I'm exhausted. It's been a very long couple of months. Let's see. Cody, you said, what about COVID precautions? In reference to what? And remember, I want to stay on topic with these videos. It's a good question. Noah said, do you support distribution of marijuana across state borders to non-legal states? if the state taxes sales, then they would potentially be supporting illegal distribution. No, I don't support that. Whether I agree with an individual state's laws or not, I'm in no way encouraging anybody to try and break the law. This is Texas wide. I'm not trying to be the president, trying to be the governor of Texas. So within Texas, that's it. I can't control what they do, just as can't control what comes out of Colorado and goes into another state that has criminalized marijuana. Cody, COVID precautions in reference to what I would do different than our current governor. As I said, that's completely off topic for this one. I do have a lot to say about that, and I think that you know exactly where I stand on that. But I'm going to stay on point in these videos, so unless it's a question about immigration and helping immigrants get their citizenship faster, or marijuana and its legal nature, that's what I'm going to stick with. But I'm always down to have a conversation about that otherwise. Conrad, nice to hear from you. Conrad asked, how do you feel about Trump not conceding? Thousands of lawsuits say corrupt. I'm a registered independent from conservative. How do you truly feel? Again, super happy for your marriage and your family. Thanks, man. Once again, it's pretty clear on how I feel on all those things. However, that is off topic for this video. So if you want to ask me individually, maybe I'll make an independent video on that, but everybody knows where I stand on that. So I'm not going to get onto that topic in this video. Mario, where's the drink at? I had one, and I'm pacing them out, because if I were to get sauced in these videos, that would kind of defeat the purpose of what I'm trying to do. It would lose a little bit of respect for this. Jason asked, do you think we should have state-regulated healthcare as opposed to federal? Once again, man, that is off topic. I was pretty clear on the introduction of these, the introductory video of how I'm going to be doing these, that I'm staying on topic with the matter at hand. So that is a separate video, buddy. Brent Rice said, by early 2024, oh shit, 2026, my bad. Yeah, there's no governor election in 2024. There will be another important one, though. Got about twice as many viewers as last time, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully these keep growing. Jason, no worries, no need to apologize. If you go back in the YouTube history of these, there's the introductory video, and it explains all that in pretty good detail. It's only about a 10-minute video. Chantel said, did you already share your views on the legalization of marijuana? Chantel, yes, I did. I'll go ahead and read it again for you. I, as the governor of Texas, will full pardon all citizens convicted of any marijuana charges that are not connected to violent crimes. If the use or distribution or growth of marijuana connects you to a violent crime, then that exempts from what I'm saying here. Furthermore, I will abolish all state laws concerning marijuana. The growth, production, distribution, purchase, and consumption of marijuana and its byproducts, such as CBD oil or hemp products, things like that, will be the rights and freedoms of Texans and anyone visiting our great state. I don't think there should be any restrictions on an individual's use of marijuana or an individual's use to create and distribute it. Noah Dunham asked a good question and how I feel about state-to-state distribution, and if it violates another state law, of course, I would in no way encourage anybody to do that. Come here. Say hello.
Hi.
Now say goodbye.
Bye.
Puppy responsibilities. a good one from Noah. Clearly, much to gain in taxes for marijuana. Where do you plan to allocate funds to? Personally funding efforts to stopping typo child slavery. Major corridors through Houston and San Antonio would be a good place to put that money to work. I don't disagree. I think that the taxes gained from marijuana growth and distribution in Texas will be such a vast amount that we can cross that against a lot of topics. Good night, I love you. When you say go to bed, stay in bed, Dad's doing a video. Good night. Love you. Good question, Chantel. What do you define as a violent crime? Basically anything aggravated. I'm not talking about a fist fight or a mutual combatants type situation, but if you're talking about robbing somebody at gunpoint or injuring another individual, anything that comes into like an aggravated felony attached to that. So if it's an upcharge to it, if I'm trying to think of a good example, if a person is making a marijuana purchase from a dispensary, if we were to have those, and they decide to, they're going to buy an ounce. I don't really know the sizes of these things, but they go in to buy an ounce, and they decide that they don't just want an ounce, but they only have the money for an ounce, and they want a whole pound. So they take out a gun, and they rob the dispensary cashier at gunpoint, at threat of his or her life, to then take the pound. That becomes aggravated robbery and would attach to possession of marijuana if caught. My point is that I guess it wouldn't be a dispensary if it wasn't legal yet, so that's not the purpose. But let's just say they're making a purchase from a person dealing marijuana. I think that's the same thing. Same situation, not out of a dispensary. I wouldn't then pardon their crime of robbing a person or lowering their sentence on the possession factor because they chose to rob another person at gunpoint. If you're that kind of person, you need to be in jail. So, but marijuana itself, there's not a reason to enslave people, imprison them over that. Cody Viveros, abolishing state laws on marijuana, what does that mean in layman's terms? I'm still not understanding the federal legalities and state legalities. There's no state laws. Just how Colorado, California, they're able to operate with marijuana. They have their restrictions and they have those kind of things. I would call for none of that. There's no reason. If the federal government decided to try and put in their hooks in one way or another, I'm sure they would, but from a state of Texas standpoint, there will be no laws pertaining to the possession, consumption, growth, and production of marijuana. I don't think I've missed anyone, but if I have, feel free to repeat your question. I think I'm catching everybody. I guess it's a good time to have a drink. So we're on a bit of a pause. We're about 20 minutes in. Cheers, guys and girls. That's a good question too, Noah. In Colorado, you cannot smoke it in public. What about in Texas? Any constraints in Texas you think would put into place? Great question. I think I've used the same as cigarettes. I hate the smell of cigarettes. It makes me sick. I hate the smell of marijuana. It makes me sick. I don't use marijuana. This isn't for my gain. This is for the individuals that this stuff does help. And same for cigarettes. You know, sometimes cigarettes actually relieve stress for people. I think it's unhealthy. I think everybody should quit. However, it's not my place to tell them they have to quit. I don't want to sit down in a restaurant, though, and have somebody smoke a cigarette right next to me while I'm trying to eat dinner. I don't want to sit down in a bar and have somebody smoke a cigarette right next to me because I don't want to breathe it in. So I think there should definitely be restrictions on that. Same as cigarettes. You can't smoke in most restaurants next to somebody else. They shouldn't have to smell the marijuana smoke either. That's a violation of their personal space and I guess technical consumption in a sense. So no, a person can't just walk through anywhere and smoke a joint. But if they're at work and they want to go out in their vehicle and smoke or do whatever, if it's not harming the comfort of others, that's I guess that's the best way to put it. Public would have to be defined. That's basically it. If it's not harming others, in a sense, I guess it's not harming. I don't know. I'm trying to think about it. If it's not discomforting others, I wouldn't want somebody smoking it next to me. But I don't care if they go over there and smoke it. So it depends on public. I don't think inside a business or inside a restaurant or a bar it should be. Chantel, thank you. How can Texas and or you would as governor regulate the production of CBD oil or marijuana to guarantee that harsh pesticides, chemicals, fillers aren't involved? I don't know anything about the production of this stuff. I'm completely ignorant to it, and I don't keep up with marijuana. I'm not a user of it. As I said, I'm a user of CBD oil. But I try and buy mine from trusted companies that are selling from good distributors, and that comes from recommendations of people that I do know about it. If I were to become the governor, I would definitely establish council based around this. I would be further educated on the actual production of it, and then of course keep out chemical pesticides, things that would harm people. So there would be health code restrictions on the production, but that would be like anything else involving food and food, drink, medication, any of those things. I imagine similar regulations, but obviously that's in the fine print, and that would be later on. Chantel, the important question is, why isn't Texas, I don't know, you got to finish that one. Chantel, in with the legalization of marijuana, we're way behind, man, I totally agree. Noah, us. That's a good one. Jason, how do you feel we should tax marijuana by growers, distributors, or purchasers? I mean, I'm not a fan of taxation at all, but I think it's also very ridiculous that some items get taxed so many times, from growth to distribution to sales. uh, I would have to change state tax policies, which I would love to. But I don't think a product should be, I don't think any product should be taxed as many times, because it constantly ups the cost of it by the time it finally makes it to the person that wants it ultimately. I don't know. I have to figure out a way that seems pretty fair. Once again, there would be a team of people more educated on marijuana than I am that would help me come up with a good solution that would make everybody happy. But as far as the individual tax, or as far as the tax on marijuana itself, I think that the land, being that the land it's grown on in Texas is Texas land, so there would be a land tax. Just as any business is producing something, there's going to be a production tax, and then the dispensary selling it is going to have a sales tax. That's the same as a cotton t-shirt. So as far as marijuana itself, that's treated like a standard cotton t-shirt, I guess. Cheers, Sarah. Chantel, are you implying that it smells like skunks? Because I agree, I don't like it either, but that's why it wouldn't be allowed in private establishments unless agreed upon in the home. Mario Almanza, how long do you think it would take change laws once you take that office? I know everything has a process, and sometimes those who oppose will make the change more difficult. What would be your estimated time frame realistically? I have no way of knowing that because I don't know what my opposition is. I don't think there's a whole lot of opposition on this topic for the most part. I think that the highly conservative people that would have an issue with marijuana in the first place, I mean, are they still that far against it? Because I don't hear a lot about it. I hear a lot more support for the legalization of marijuana, especially if we can figure out ways to make it profitable to the state and benefit the individuals. So that's about it. I don't have a way of knowing a time frame. A term's 4 years, so hopefully I'll be able to get a lot done just in the first year of pushing the papers, and then see a lot of actual changes in the second year. That's the best I can tell you, man. Also, I'm not a politician. I'm giving this a run the best I can. I'm not a politician. I'm learning along the way of the way these things all work out. I understand government. I understand that the way legislation works. However, the idea of being that person in power or influence, I would have to know how strong my opposition is before I could give you a realistic time frame. Yes, you did, Adley. No, I agree with you. That's what I was saying. You said as far as tax, growers, no. Distribution and sales tax, yes. Standard land tax on their tax. That's what I'm talking about. Like there would be production distribution tax, and then sales tax from the dispensary when I was saying selling it. But as far as the land itself, no. I mean, just as you and I pay land tax on our homes, the person with hundreds of acres growing this stuff would pay the same type of tax. So there's not a growth tax, but you're going to have the land tax as it's grown right here in Texas. Brett Bontrager, as governor, if you win, would you take a victory lap in the Charger or Raptor around Austin? Well, it's a Challenger, buddy, but definitely the Raptor. but I'm building an 86 Trans Am right now, and it's going to be obnoxious. So probably that. Chantel Gent, why are you for the legalization of marijuana? I'm not against it, just curious. Technically, this isn't entirely off topic. There is some association. Kim OG is. Kim Hog. Because I think it infringes on people's rights. I don't use it. I don't like it. I don't care to have anything to do with it. But I don't think that me not liking it should stop somebody else from being able to do it. It gets too far into personal rights. And I think we've seen too much of that taken away from us. So, why? Tell me something bad about marijuana. Tell me something other than a stink, or if an individual doesn't like it. You can tell me a lot of bad things about alcohol, and it's legal. You can tell me a lot of bad things about prescription drugs, and they're legal if bought through, taxable ways. So, why should somebody that enjoys it and it helps them live their life more comfortably be restricted from it just because others don't like it? And that's because the government wants to restrict people. And I don't think those restrictions should exist anymore, at least on the state level. Definitely on a federal level, but for what I'm trying to do, state level. Sarah Silverthorne. So prepare yourself with all knowledge of marijuana, or Mary Jane, so you can go forward with the position you wish to take and have a low to no fail rate. You're right. I'm not highly educated on it. I just know that it helps a lot of people, and that, as far as I know, doesn't hurt anybody. So that I'll definitely be doing my research on those topics as this progresses. Did you hear that? Sound like a shower curtain. Thank you, Alina, for making episode 2 entertaining. All right, we're a little more than halfway through, so I'll reread all of this again. Kind of surprised nobody's spoken very much on the citizenship for immigrants, and everybody is completely focused on marijuana. But my second act as governor of Texas will be implementing a state-funded program that helps legally entered immigrants get their United States citizenship easier and faster, removing expensive costs for the individuals and tax breaks for the businesses that support them. My third act as the governor of Texas, I will full pardon all citizens convicted of any marijuana charges that are not connected with violent crimes. Furthermore, I will abolish all state laws concerning marijuana. The growth, production, distribution, purchase, and consumption of marijuana and its byproducts will be the rights and freedoms of Texans and anyone visiting our great state. Have a good night, Noah. Brett Bontrager said, would you give a free Byerly for Governor tattoo for a willing participant? Absolutely not. You can pay for that because it'll be awesome. Thank you, Sarah. unless you did it like right now. Well, Sarah said, tell us what your view on immigration is. Be more specific. I basically was saying that I would like to see them achieve their citizenship faster and easier and in a less expensive manner. So please elaborate on what view of mine you would like to know on that topic. Jason said, thank you for that. I didn't know this was on multiple subjects. I agree with your immigration views. How do you feel we could enforce or regulate that? I don't think you heard me right. Let me read this again and I'll get back to it. Brandon, did I miss the marijuana talk? All right, I'm going to read everything all over again and then we'll get back to questions. My second act as governor of Texas will be implementing a state-funded program that helps legally entering immigrants get their United States citizenship easier and faster, removing expensive costs for the individuals and tax breaks for the businesses that sponsor them. All right. I have several friends that have gained their citizenship and it took them 8 or more years. They did it the right way, and that's very commendable. But it takes a very long time, and it was expensive for each and every one of them. That's a huge deterrent for somebody to try and do it the right way. Why wouldn't they just do it the legal way if it's available? And that's why they don't, because it's difficult. So while I don't think it should be something easy, we could definitely have programs that helps those trying to do it legally more streamlined, more effective, faster, less expensive, an incentive to do things the right way, you know. All right, Brandon, the marijuana talk. I will full pardon all citizens convicted of any marijuana charges that are not connected with violent crimes. Furthermore, I will abolish all state laws concerning marijuana. The growth, production, distribution, purchase, and consumption of marijuana and its byproducts will be the rights and freedoms of Texans and anyone visiting our great state. Brent, that's off topic. How would you stop migrant caravans from Mexico or South America? That is a different topic based around immigration. I think that's already being done on a federal level, but up for further discussion on that later. Tax breaks for businesses that sponsor them. Please expand on this. Most people trying to acquire citizenship have to gain sponsorship, and that ended up typically costing the business, which then costs the individual. A small business is probably less likely to want to sponsor a legally entering immigrant if it's going to cost them money. So that could be a tax write-off for the business itself. Good night, Jason. Come on, questions? I apologize. apologize if I'm less lively than last time. I am exhausted. I almost have my new business open 2 weeks from now and counting, and I've been burning the candle at both ends, so pretty tired these days. I fell asleep for a second getting a haircut today. Yes, Megan McGrath, I am turning quite gray. 40 is around the corner. What's up, Leighton? Security guards at schools. That is yet another off-topic question. I don't want to lead into topics that don't focus towards towards what I list in these videos, because it's only an hour long. This is good. I encourage anybody watching this or following this to write me, or in the comments, just as this, make suggestions for further topics. I've written 39 policies that I would like to see go into motion, but there's lots more to write. So if you have suggestions, please put them in. As I said, I might not address them in these individual videos, but they definitely register, and it's something that I will address at some point. We have all the way until November 2026, so there will be a lot of these videos, and there will be in-between videos other than just the Drink With Your Governor, but this will be the first Friday of every month, except for this month because I was in Facebook jail. Thank you, Sarah. That's all right, Leighton, you jumped in late. Do I need to readdress these topics, or did you hear them? Because I'm happy to do so. I guess I'm going to go ahead and read them one more time. Brittany Teal said, decriminalization or legalization? I missed quite a bit. Just now tuning in. All right, Leighton. Good night, man. Catch that next time, or I'll probably see you in the neighborhood in the coming months. So you can feel free to ask me then. All right, Brittany Teal, I'm going to go ahead and read these again. This is on immigration. Just state, my second act as governor of Texas will be implementing a state-funded program that helps legally entering immigrants get their United States citizenship easier and faster, removing expensive costs for the individuals and tax breaks for the businesses that sponsor them. My third act as the governor of Texas. I will personally full pardon all citizens convicted of any marijuana charges that are not connected with violent crimes. Furthermore, I will abolish all state laws concerning marijuana. The growth, production, distribution, purchase, and consumption of marijuana and its byproducts will be the rights and freedoms of Texas and anyone visiting our great state. I'm all for the legalization. I'm not a user, but I'm all for it being legal for others to do so. Thank you, Hadley. We'll talk further about it on Monday. Thank you, Leighton. I look forward to it too. If at any point you're just chiming in and you missed these policies, please just mention so, and I'm happy to reread them. In the meantime, I hope everybody had a good work week. I know it's late, and it's about to be completely over. So let's have a drink. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Dustin Cox, those sound like great ideas. What's the current position in Texas on immigration policy you mentioned? Are you talking, did you hear what I said or not? I'll reread this and then please elaborate if you're talking about a specific portion of what I wrote. My second act as the governor of Texas will be implementing a state-funded program that helps legally entering immigrants get their United States citizenship easier and faster, removing expensive costs for the individuals and tax breaks for the businesses that sponsor them. Well, the sound is pretty important in this, Dustin. Welcome back to Texas, by the way. Yes, sir. Amanda, are you just tuning in or have you heard these policies and would you like me to read them again? All right, we'll get to live and I'll read it one more time or multiple more times if I don't fall asleep. My second act as the governor of Texas will be implementing a state-funded program that helps legally entering immigrants get their United States citizenship easier and faster, removing expensive costs for the individuals and tax breaks for the businesses that sponsor them. My third act as the governor of Texas, I will full pardon all citizens convicted of any marijuana charges that are not connected with violent crimes. Furthermore, I will abolish all state laws concerning marijuana. The growth, production, distribution, purchase, and consumption of marijuana and its byproducts will be the rights and freedoms of Texans and anyone visiting our great state. Jason Robinson says, "Speak loudly, please. Hard to hear." Speaking at a pretty normal volume, man. As I stated in the opening video with that, these aren't professionally made videos. I might, as this goes on, be able to put together a more professional setup, but I want these to be raw. I want it to just be an understanding that you're having a normal discussion with me. So maybe if I figure out how to do the whole live thing with without using my phone and using camera setups and whatnot, then that'll improve. But as of right now, speaking pretty normal. So if you could turn your volume up, I'd appreciate it. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing with all this, but as it progresses, I'm sure I'll come with a more technologically sound setup. Amanda said, "I'm all for that. I'd be interested to dive deeper into the whole nonviolent crimes aspect." Elaborate. I'm curious on that. Thanks, Jason. Amanda, basically what I mean is if somebody robs another person at gunpoint for their marijuana and then they're caught, I don't think that they should get a lowered charge because of, and that actually goes to the pardon side of things. If somebody is already in prison for aggravated robbery, they put somebody's life at risk and in danger, and they got, a total sentence of I don't know, 5 years. But part of their charge was originally possession of marijuana, which is what they stole from the person when they robbed them or however they came across it. I don't care to touch that person's case. I don't think that marijuana part is a huge part of their case, and I don't care to have anything to do with lowering a charge or dealing with a person that is the type of person that would rob another person at gunpoint. So a violent crime. When I say violent, I mean violent. Not like a fist fight at two willing combatants. I mean like a person afraid for their life being robbed by another, aggravated robbery, aggravated assault, choking to a point of near death, things like that. Not what some people would consider violence. A person convicted of an aggravated violent crime that has part of their charge attached is a marijuana possession charge. I don't care to even mess with these people. So that's more on the pardon side of things. I won't touch those people. I'm not going to be a person that shortens their sentence based on the possession of marijuana. Previous reformed violent offenders. Once again, I think you're missing my point. I have a weird stance on that. That's like the idea of saying that a rapist could be reformed. Once you cross that moral ground, there's no coming back. You can't you can't be a pedophile for one day and then just decide, oh, well, hey, look, I'm sorry, and go reform. I don't believe in that. I don't even believe in forgiveness for that sort of thing. A person that will violently disregard another human being's well-being or health, I don't believe there's really reform to that. So it really depends on what a violent offender is. If we're talking about somebody who beat his wife nearly to death, there's no reform to that. But if we're talking about a domestic violence call where both people are still fully intact and the police get there and they take the guy off to jail even though he's bleeding, that's not violent to me. That's that's the courts making bad decisions. Jason said, really glad to see you are moving forward with this. Thanks, man. I stay pretty true to my word. Always have. Amanda said, agreed. Say it was a carjacking at 16 and then the same guy gets pulled over at 45 with pot. Said guy has had a clean record since he was 16. Yeah, that's totally separate. That's not an attached crime. I said all marijuana charges that are connected with violent crimes. Okay, so that's, if a person's had a clean record since they were 16, they screwed up when they were a kid, and then that's why your record sort of resets. But no, that's reform. You're crossing some moral ground on that kind of theft. There's moral ground you can't turn back from. That's more what I'm talking about. But yes, if somebody, let's say 16, carjacks another person at gunpoint, whatever like that, they have marijuana on, they get caught. I am not going to reduce their charge. I'm not even going to get involved with their charge of aggravated auto theft. I imagine that's what that'd be, aggravated grand theft auto and possession of marijuana. Like, that's at 16, I'm done with that. I'm not messing with that. Now, if this same person has that on their record, it wasn't cleared at 18, let's say it happened at 18, it's just still on their record, but they haven't gotten a charge since they were 18, and they're 45, they're just cruising on the highway, get pulled over for a taillight, and have marijuana on them, pardoned for that marijuana charge. But the previous one attached to the carjacking, that's on your record forever. We got 2.5 minutes left, guys. Awesome. Glad you guys agree. Amanda, they will be the first Friday of every month at 11 p.m. This month, it's being done late on the 18th because I was in Facebook jail for speaking the truth. So, communist censorship put me away for 30 days. Total of 37, but 30 days. This stint. So, stay tuned with that. And I will be saving all these videos and putting them right back to YouTube, so you can always go back and look at them and review them if you got in late or missed it. All right, guys. Well, it is almost midnight, 1 minute till. In closing, I would like to say thank you. What I'm doing is on a pretty simple level at this point, but I definitely intend on taking it a lot further in the next 6 years, so I definitely appreciate any support. Merry Christmas. I hope all of you stay very blessed. It's been a very rough year for a lot of people. I hope that you were able to prevail through the hardships. You are all in my prayers, and I will see you 2021. See you next year. Jessica Hall, yeah, you did miss it, but I'm going to save it to YouTube and you can check right back in or rewind the live video. Anyways, good night, everyone. I will see you next year. Thank you.